Rugby, a sport known for its tough play and teamwork, has a surprisingly fun origin story. It's a tale that combines spontaneity, youthful rebellion, and a touch of legend, making it as intriguing as the game itself. Legend says that in 1823, at Rugby school in England, a student named William Webb Ellis picked up the ball during a soccer game and just ran with it. This act of defiance against the established rules of soccer was both shocking and exhilarating. Imagine the scene: a young boy, driven by a sudden impulse, breaking away from the norm and creating something entirely new. This bold move is seen as the moment rugby was born. It wasn't just a simple act of running with the ball, it was a declaration of independence, a moment that captured the essence of innovation and courage. The other students, initially stunned, soon found themselves captivated by this new way of playing. While some people argue if it's true, the story of William Webb Ellis shows the sport's spirit of being different and brave. Whether or not the tale is entirely accurate, it embodies the adventurous and rebellious spirit that rugby players cherish. The story has been passed down through generations, becoming a cherished part of rugby folklore. Rugby school was super important in shaping the game's early days. The institution became a breeding ground for this new sport, nurturing it and allowing it to evolve. The school's culture of discipline and excellence provided the perfect environment for rugby to flourish. By 1845, the school made the first official rules, giving this new sport a framework. These rules were meticulously crafted by the students themselves, reflecting their passion and commitment to the game. They laid down the foundation for what would become a globally recognized sport. These rules helped rugby become the worldwide sport it is today. From its humble beginnings at rugby school, the game spread across continents, embraced by diverse cultures and communities. The spirit of rugby, with its emphasis on teamwork, strategy, and physical prowess, resonated with people everywhere. The game got popular fast at rugby school, exciting students with its mix of tough play, smart thinking, and teamwork. The fields of rugby school became the proving grounds for young athletes, where they honed their skills and developed a deep love for the game. This enthusiasm quickly spread beyond the school's walls, igniting a passion for rugby that continues to burn brightly to this day. 1871 was a big year for rugby. It marked a turning point in the history of the sport, transforming it from a casual pastime into a more structured and organized game. Before this year, rugby was mostly played in schools and local clubs, with each having its own set of rules and variations. It went from casual fun to a more organized sport. The need for a standardized set of rules became apparent as more people started playing the game. This was essential to ensure fair play and to make the sport more enjoyable for everyone involved. People from 21 important English rugby clubs met to make a group to run the sport. These clubs were some of the most influential in the country, and their representatives understood the importance of creating a unified governing body. That's how the Rugby Football Union, or RFU, was born. The RFU was tasked with the responsibility of overseeing the sport, ensuring that the rules were followed, and promoting rugby across England and beyond. Its job was to make consistent rules for everyone. This was a crucial step in the evolution of rugby, as it allowed for a more cohesive and competitive environment. The RFU's rulebook became the standard for all clubs and schools, making the game more accessible and fair. The RFU helped make the game we know today. By providing a clear framework and guidelines, the RFU ensured that rugby could grow and develop into a sport enjoyed by millions around the world. Their efforts laid the foundation for the modern game, with its emphasis on skill, strategy, and sportsmanship. Now, more people could play rugby, no matter their background. The establishment of the RFU opened the doors for a more inclusive and diverse range of players, allowing the sport to spread to different communities and countries. Another big thing in 1871, this year also saw the first steps towards international competition, which would further elevate the status of rugby on the global stage. The first ever international rugby game. This historic match was a significant milestone, showcasing the potential of rugby as a sport that could bring nations together. On March 27th, England and Scotland played in Edinburgh, starting a big rivalry. This game not only highlighted the competitive spirit of rugby, but also demonstrated the camaraderie and respect between the two teams. This game showed how athletic and strategic rugby could be. It was a testament to the skill and dedication of the players, and it set the stage for the future of international rugby competitions. Rugby's excitement quickly spread beyond Britain, carried by travelers and big fans. The game, with its unique blend of strategy, physicality, and camaraderie, captured the hearts of many. As people moved across continents, they took with them not just their belongings but also their love for rugby. This passion for the sport transcended borders and cultures, making it a universal language of sorts. Former rugby school students brought the game to new places, planting the seeds for its global growth. These students, who had experienced the thrill of the game firsthand, were eager to share it with others. They organized matches, taught the rules, and fostered a sense of community around the sport. Their efforts laid the foundation for rugby's expansion, turning it from a local pastime into a global phenomenon. One place where rugby really took off was New Zealand. The country's rugged landscape and strong sporting culture made it an ideal breeding ground for the game. Rugby quickly became more than just a sport, it became a part of the national identity. The passion and dedication of New Zealanders to rugby set the stage for the country's dominance in the sport. Arriving in the 1870s, it quickly became a national favorite. The early matches drew large crowds and the enthusiasm was palpable. Local clubs sprang up and soon regional competitions were being held. The sport's popularity soared, and it wasn't long before New Zealand was producing some of the best rugby players in the world. As rugby grew in new places, it changed and adapted, creating unique playing styles in different regions. Each country brought its own flavor to the game, influenced by local culture and preferences. In some places the game became faster and more fluid, while in others, it remained more structured and strategic. This diversity in playing styles enriched the sport, making it more exciting and unpredictable. The Southern Hemisphere focused on running with the ball, while the Northern Hemisphere preferred a more structured approach. This difference in styles led to fascinating clashes on the field as teams from different regions brought their unique strategies to the game. These matches were not just contests of skill but also of philosophy, showcasing the rich tapestry of rugby's evolution. International competitions like the one started in 1882 helped rugby grow even more. These tournaments provided a platform for the best teams to compete, pushing the boundaries of the sport. They also fostered a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect among players from different countries, further solidifying rugby's status as a global sport. Rugby, once a small-town game, was now a worldwide sport. Its journey from the fields of rugby school to the stadiums of the world is a testament to the game's universal appeal. Today, rugby continues to bring people together, transcending borders and uniting fans in their love for the game. As rugby spread, it brought its traditions and values with it. The most famous tradition, the haka. Performed by New Zealand's All Blacks, the haka is a war dance, a challenge, and a show of cultural pride. It comes from Maori history, a big part of New Zealand rugby. Seeing the All Blacks do the haka is amazing, showing their passion and dedication. Beyond the haka, rugby teaches respect, good sportsmanship, and shared passion. These values have made rugby special to millions of people. 1987 was another huge year for rugby. The first Rugby World Cup, held in Australia and New Zealand, it brought the best teams together. It was a huge success, exciting fans and players everywhere. New Zealand won, becoming the first ever World Cup champions. The tournament showed off the best players and helped the sport grow even more. The World Cup also started a new era of professional rugby. With more media and sponsors, rugby couldn't stay amateur anymore. Professional rugby brought amazing athleticism, skill, and strategy to the game. In the late 1900s and early 2000s, women's rugby became really popular. Women broke barriers and made their own place in the sport. Women's rugby has grown incredibly fast with more and more women playing around the world. When women's rugby sevens became part of the 2016 Olympics, it became even more well-known. This shows how inclusive rugby is, welcoming everyone. Rugby is a great sport for women of all ages and skill levels. From a simple start at rugby school to a global sport, rugby's journey is amazing. But through all the changes, its core values have stayed the same. We love rugby for its mix of tough play, skill, strategy, and teamwork. It challenges you physically and mentally. Respect for opponents and referees is key in rugby. This respect goes beyond the game, creating a community among players and fans. Rugby clubs everywhere bring people together. Rugby teaches us that with shared passion and respect, we can do anything.